It's a glitter ball stitch marker and it's gorgeous, and you're going to get one if you're a prize winner. Pretended she was a contestant and practiced samba steps in her head. There's Strictly Perfume. Hello and welcome to the Little Drops of Wonderful podcast. This is a special extra video just to announce the winners of the Strictly Sockalong 2018. So if you're looking for the podcast proper, you need to hop back on this channel to the previous video, episode 40, and that is my latest podcast. And this is just going to be me drawing the prizes for the Strictly Sockalong. So, unless you entered the Strictly Sockalong, in which case you don't want to hop back to episode 40, you want to watch this and see if you've won a prize. So we've got 3 prize categories to award. We've already awarded some throughout the cow. We've awarded the Made It to Blackpool prize and a couple of Halloween prizes as well. I think maybe 2, 3 or 4. Can't remember how many prizes have gone out already. And the 10 from Len prize as well. So we awarded a prize when the first 10 on the show was given. And now we've got to award some prizes for rule bending, and I'm going to draw some random winners from the chatter thread and also from the FO thread. So I've got 8 more prizes to give away. I'm going to draw 2 for rule bending, 2 for the chatter thread, and 4 from the FO thread. But first of all, I just wanted to say a huge, enormous thank you to everybody that got involved with the Strictly Sockalong 2018. Thank you in particular to Sandra, who has got the Cherry Heart blog here on YouTube. She designed the amazing Cha-Cha chevron socks pattern, which looks like this. I'm not going to talk about these. These are my finished Strictly socks, but I talked about them on the previous episode. So these are the Cha-Cha chevron socks. She designed this pattern, and the gorgeous yarn is called Limoncello, and it is that was dyed specifically for the Strictly Sockalong by Sam of Betsy Makes, and she is an incredibly clever yarn dyer, and this is on her Strictly sock base, which just tickles me pink, and it's an absolute beautiful colourway. As you can see, it's yellow, but it's got these subtle greys. Honestly, it's just beautiful, and I love my finished Strictly socks. So thank you so much to Sandra and Sam for getting involved. I was absolutely thrilled to pieces that you wanted to do that, and when I asked you, and yeah, thank you. Hopefully you might want to get involved again. Who knows? It's not long till the next one. Strictly 2019. It's probably just a few months away before we can start planning. Anyway, I also want to say a huge, enormous thank you to all of the makers who very generously donated prizes. Like I say, we've already awarded about 4, and I've got 8 more. That is a lot of prizes that were donated for this Sockalong, and I lost for words at your generosity. So I have created a thread in my Ravelry group, which is the Little Drops of Wonderful group on Ravelry, and it's called the Strictly Prizes thread, and I have listed all of the prizes in there, and I have linked to everybody where I can. So please hop along there, have a look at all the prizes. They're amazing. Go and click on the links, have a look at people's shops, show them some love. It's incredibly generous that people want to donate things to give away, and it's really kind of them. So thank you to you. And so thank you just to everybody who got involved and sat down and broke the rules, or cheated, or knitted some socks, or crocheted some socks, and got involved and had fun. The Strictly Sockalong is a long one. It starts in September, it runs to past the end of the year. It has peaks and troughs of momentum throughout it, and it's just a whole lot of fun. And my favourite part of it is seeing people's creativity when it comes to rule bending. I do really enjoy that element of it. It's hard to believe that in 2016 it was just me. I just decided I'm going to knit some socks whilst watching Strictly, and I did. It was possibly only like my 2nd or 3rd pair of socks, and now last year there was quite a lot of us, and this year when I closed the thread this morning at about 7:30, there were 259 finished objects in the thread, and over I think 1,500 posts in the chatter thread, which is mind-blowing. It completely blows my mind. I can't get my head around it. My poor little brain. So thank you to everybody. It's such a happy cow, and so much fun, and it really is a highlight point of my year. And I've also got in these cute little envelopes to go with all of the prize packages that I'm going to send out. These cute little envelopes made from like recycled, like from a magazine or something. And this is from Lorraine, who is Lollyball on Instagram. And last year she made maybe just a handful of some glitter ball stitch markers. And she made me some more for this year. And they arrived the other day to go with the prizes. And she's made some small ones and some large ones. So these are the larger ones. And then I've got some smaller ones as well. And I'm going to pop these in with each prize package. Let's see if I can do this. Here they are. I can't get it to focus. I am having phone focusing issues lately. Anyway, take my word for it. It's a glitter ball stitch marker and it's gorgeous, and you're going to get one if you're a prize winner. So thank you very much, Lorraine, for those. I was really excited when those came through the post. Right, shall we get on with some Strictly stats? Okay, so of the 259 finished objects, I could drill down and have a look at what type of projects they were, and I wanted to see how many were knitted and how many were crocheted. However, if they're not linked directly to a project, I can't do that, not without physically going through and counting, which is what I did last year, but there were just too many to do that this year. So of the projects that were linked in that group, I think that came to about 207 were linked. So there's about 50 odd not in this count. But of the ones that were 180 projects, 184 were knitting and 23 were crochet, and those numbers are at least. At least 27 of them were the Cha-Cha Chevron socks. And there were many people who knit multiple pairs. So I'm going to tell you, I haven't written down all of the usernames, but I'm just going to go very quickly through to tell you. So there's Hannah in Tasmania. She is Rosehip Island Yarn. She's also got a podcast on YouTube, and I think she did dye a Strictly colourway, as did Little French Meadow actually. They did several Strictly colourways this year, which was really lovely. I saw those popping up all over Instagram and on YouTube, so it was really nice to see other sort of dyers coming in and people just getting involved and joining in with the fun of it. That was so much fun. So where was I? Strictly stats, yeah. So people who knit multiple pairs. Hannah, who is Rosehip Island Yarn in Tasmania, she knit 3 pairs. And then in the 4 pairs category, we had Alice in Surrey, Susan in London, Diane in Lancashire. And then with 5 pairs, we've got Elaine in Merseyside, Karen in Leamington Spa. With 6 pairs, we've got Lily, who is Nordic Stitches. Hi Lily, in Norway. Marta, who is Auntie Marta in Switzerland. She also knit 6 pairs. And then in the 8 pairs category, we've got Tatty Cat Yarny Tales, Marie in Somerset, Pam in Wales. The only person who knit 9 was Rusty Magnolia in Arkansas. And then towards the top of the leaderboard, we've got Shelley in Canada. She is Kiki Lucy on Instagram. I've done a sock with her before. She knit 11 pairs of Strictly socks, which is amazing. And then Hilary just blew everyone out the water with 14 pairs. Hilary is in Adelaide and her username is Ratha. And I seem to remember she knit a lot of pairs last year as well. So she is a sock knitting ninja. Well done, everybody. Even if you just knit 1 pair, well done. And so many of you I know knit your very first pair for this Sockalong, or crocheted your very first pair for this Sockalong, and that was amazing that you decided to do that. And I think it helped as well that there was another Sockalong going on for a short time within the same time frame of the Strictly Sockalong, and they were encouraging everyone to crochet socks. So I think that's why we've got quite a lot of crocheted socks this year, which is absolutely brilliant to see. Okay, so let's draw some winners, shall we? So the prizes thread, like I said, is in the Ravelry group. A lot of my prizes I've already parcelled up, so I won't be able to show them to you. So I'll let you know what you've won and you can go and check it out in the thread. And the first category that I'm going to be awarding, and I've got 2 prizes for this, is the rule bending category. And the prizes that are going to be awarded for the rule bending category are going to be, there's a set that I put together. It's a lovely, lovely bag from Conchetta of Butternut Handmade, and it's an absolutely gorgeous bag. And I've put with it a minis set from Little Stone Cottage Yarns, from Nikki of Little Stone Cottage Yarns, and I've put those together. So if you go and have a look in the prizes thread, you're going to get that little prize bundle if you're the first winner. I'm just writing this down. Rule bending number 1. And the second rule bending prize is going to be one of my dodgy bags and some absolutely gorgeous yarn from Ducky Darling's yarn. So the dodgy bag is made with fabrics that are quite special to me. One of the white fabric, the white and gold fabric, is actually from an old tablecloth that we had for years growing up for our Christmas tablecloth, and the dark grey is one of the first fabrics I ever bought, and it's actually organic cotton made here in the UK. And I put with it the gorgeous Ducky Darling's yarn in the Autumn Days colour. So if you go and have a look at the prizes thread, I'm writing this down as well, you will see your prize there. So that's for the second winner. So I'm going to tell you my favourite rule. So what I did last year was I just went through and chose a couple of winners. But because there were so many different ones this year, I've gone through and I've chosen my favourites. And I've written them down on this piece of paper, all the names. And I'm now going to cut them up into strips. And then I'm just going to, I don't know, I'll put them in a hat, in my finished object hat, and pull a winner out. But I just want to tell you my favourite rule bending. So a lot of people like me, they just knit theirs pretty much whenever they wanted, which is pretty much what I did this year. But some people were a little bit more creative, and I have scoured the FO thread and chosen my favourite rule bending. So my favourite ones were Viv, who is Fran de Fleurs on Ravelry. She worked on a time banking system, which I thought was really good. So whenever she watched a podcast by either Sam, who is Betsy Mates and creator of the Strictly Sockalong yarn, or by Sandra, who is Cherry Heart and creator of the Char Char Chevron pattern, or any of my podcasts, because I was running the Sockalong, or any other podcaster who mentioned Strictly, she banked that time that she could then use at a later time for working on her Strictly socks, which I thought was very, very clever. And of course, she says she always crocheted with glitter filled progress keepers present. I must say that Viv's socks were crocheted socks. They were crocheted. And then we got Kaylee, lovely Kaylee, fellow Kent girl here in the UK. She is Shadows at Midnight on Ravelry, and she always knit with her phone next to her because she follows the Strictly Instagram account. Very clever. Crafty Bailey B. I don't have your real name, but that is your Ravelry name. She knit some of hers whilst wearing last year's Strictly socks. A very easy cheat. I like it. Elaine, who is knitting Charlie, she knit whilst visiting a friend whose daughter's name was Darcy. Very clever. I like the kind of very loose connection there. Nikki, who is Lupin Lane Handmade and also has a podcast, a lovely podcast here on YouTube, pretended she was a contestant and practiced samba steps in her head while she knit her socks. Perfect. What excellent rule bending. Now, our Minty and Lily, who is Nordic Stitches, they both had extensive rule bending rules. So they created their own rules. So I'm going to try and go through these as quickly as I can because they're quite long. So our Minty knit whilst watching my podcast, knit whilst watching Nordic Stitches podcast because she's a friend of mine, knit whilst watching the Arctic Knitting podcast because she's a friend of Lily's, knit whilst watching the Skein Knits podcast because she's Norwegian like Lily. It's getting very vaguely connected now. Knit whilst watching the Bakery Bayers podcast because in one they briefly mentioned their sadness at one Strictly dancers being out of the competition, so their podcast suddenly became Strictly related, and she had yarn with contrast sections that danced around her socks. How is that for some rule bending? That is very impressive and very well thought out. Lily's were equally detailed. On Saturdays, she could knit from 7:30 until about 10:30 p.m. because those hours contained the actual live dancing show in Norway, the Dancing with the Stars news break, which was a break in the regular evening news to talk about the show, during the entire evening show of Good Evening Norway, as the hostess of the show is in the actual dance show as one of the celebrities. She also listed quite a few other things, such as she could knit during the 5 to 10 minute Monday morning interview on Good Morning Norway with the celeb who got voted out the previous Saturday, whilst watching any other podcast that mentions or take parts in the cow, and if at any time she felt inspired to have a little dance on my living room floor, I'm granting myself 30 minutes strictly knitting time. Okay, so the next one was Sarah, who is Bea and Me. She's also Sarah One Daisy on Instagram. She knit whilst carrying a nugget of yarn from last year's socks, which I thought was very clever. But this was my favourite bit of her rule bending. She also, at work previously, met Strictly star Carol Kirkwood, who was a contestant last year, and helped her get an eyelash out of her eye, which means her workplace has now officially been Strictlified and she can knit there whenever she likes. Louise, who is Luby Knitterist, she had four different rule bending things, but my favourite one was that she lives and works in Darlington in the UK, and Craig Revel Horwood often calls people darling. So it's a perfect excuse to knit on her socks. Stephanie Fair watched all of the Harry Potter movies after movie week and knit her socks then. Mandy, who is M Stanford, rewatched all the episodes she had already watched when her daughter came home so they could watch it together. So basically she doubled her knitting time. Rusty Magnolia, she did a fair bit of rule bending, but my favourite was that she did some knitting whilst reading a Garfield comic strip when John Arbuckle was going dancing. So anything that involves cheating with Garfield is fine by me. You're into the drawer. Lisa, who is Smiling Phoenix, she wanted to work on hers during a drive, so she wore some Strictly perfume that she had previously bought from Avon. What? There's Strictly perfume? What's going on there? Is this actually a Strictly show related perfume, or is it just a perfume randomly called Strictly? That's amazing, you're into the draw. Elaine, who is Grandma and me, knit hers whilst watching the Great British Menu. Now, this I thought was very good. So the Great British Menu is a show here in the UK where they professional chefs compete to cook a course at a banquet. And they do this every year, and there's normally a reason for the banquet. And this year, the banquet was to celebrate the 70th birthday of the NHS. So she knit whilst watching that because Dr. Ranj was on Strictly, and he is an NHS doctor. And that concludes my favourite rule bending. You still with me? I've written all those names down. I'm now going to cut them up. I'm going to speed this bit up. Right, that is done. I'm going to put them all in my Tchaikovsky hat. I've just screwed them up into little balls. Right, we are now going to draw 2 winners from that little lot for the rule bending prize. So the first one and the winner of the butternut handmade bag and the yarn from Littlestone Cottage is Rusty Magnolia! Rusty Magnolia, lucky you! I'm sure you've won a prize before. I think you have. There you go. So you have won one of the prizes for the rule bending. Well done. And just as a reminder, she was knitting whilst reading a Garfield comic strip. Right, let's write that down. Rusty Magnolia. Right, prize 2 for the dodgy bag and the Ducky Darlings yarn is Kaylee! Shadows at Midnight Knits. Yay! I'm so happy, Kaylee. I've been following Kaylee for ages on Instagram, and she's due her first baby this year. Yay! You can knit the baby something. You don't have to do that. Okay, I'm writing that down as well. Okay, so that is the rule bending prize draw done. I haven't actually filmed my podcast yet, the one that would have been up on the channel before this, so I'm going to have to put that hat back because I've got to talk about it. Right, we no longer need all those. Put those over there. The next category is to draw 2 random people from the chatter thread. Now, fair warning, I am going to be using our little friend Alexa to do this. So if you have a little digital assistant at home, I would recommend that you maybe just cover her ears, because otherwise she's going to be giving you random numbers when I tell her to in a minute. Okay, so first of all, we're going to go into the chatter thread and we're going to find out the exact number of posts, and then we're going to draw a random number. Okay, in the chatter thread, as of right at this moment, there are 1,138 posts. What? Obviously the first post was mine, so we're going to be choosing a random number between 2 and 1,138, and we're going to ask our friend to do it now. Okay, so the first prize from the chatter thread is going to be the Little French Meadow bag, yarn and stitch marker set. Now they donated this. It's a beautiful bag. It's a very unusual square bag with a drawstring. I've got one too and I absolutely love it. There's a stitch marker in there and they're American Smooth colourway. It's absolutely beautiful. I'm writing this down as well. It's all happening live. So that is going to be the first prize that I'm going to draw now. So if you want to see what that looks like, hop along to the prizes thread and have a look. So Alexa, choose a random number between 2 and 1,138. She didn't like that. Alexa, choose a random number between 2 and 1,138.
Your random number between 2 and 1,138 is 884.
884. Right, 884. Let's go and find out who you are. Post number 884 is Kerry Pip. I think she knit one pair. She is Kerry. She lives in Eastbourne in East Sussex here in the UK. And she knit, I'm going to see if I can show you these, a lovely pair of socks, and she knit them in time for the Halloween show. Congratulations, Kerry. If you can get in touch with me, I'm writing your name down now, and give me your address. The same goes for everybody. And I should also say that with every single pattern prize that I'm sending physically out, you can also choose one of Naomi, who is Cozy Cute Knits. She is giving one of her sock patterns, either the enchanted socks or the spellbound socks, with every single prize package. So when you, and those socks are listed in the prizes thread as well. So when you give me your address, also tell me which pair of those socks, which one of those patterns you would prefer. If you don't mind, just let me know you don't mind, and Naomi will send that to you directly via Ravelry. If you could do that, that would be great. Okay, let's go and draw the second winner. So the second winner for the chatter thread is going to win, oh, I like this next prize a lot. You're going to win the most blingy Strictly Fied bag in the world from Lisa, who is the Woolly Ferret. Now, Lisa had started a podcast when she first donated this bag, and I think she's now on episode 4 or 5, and her podcast is absolutely lovely. Please go and watch it. She is the Woolly Ferret. She's based here in the UK, and she is a very interesting lady, so I would recommend you go and watch her podcast. But her bag was amazing too. I don't know if it's one of the ones, oh look, it's right here. It is parcelled up, but I can get it out. So this is the blingy bag. Look at, you can't get any more Strictly than that, and it's actually got like a metallic blingy innards. And it's got stitch markers in there, and then this absolutely beautiful, sorry, the stitch markers there on the outside. And this beautiful mini set that was donated by Ellie of the Craft House Magic podcast. Her yarns, so look at those. That's her label. So I put these two together, and that is the second prize parcel for the chatter thread. So let's just write that down, chatter 2. So Alexa, choose a number between 2 and 1,138.
Your random number between 2 and 1,138 is 1,124.
Oh, 1,124, a late one. Let's go and see who you are. I won't have to scroll back too far. Ah! Okay, post 1,124 in the chatter thread was Ollie and Bella, and she is Sherry on Instagram. She's absolutely lovely. She did Vlogmas this year, yeah, her feed on Instagram is beautiful. Well done, Sherry. So you've won that prize from Lisa at the Woolly Ferret and Ellie at Craft House Magic. Well done, Sherry. You need to get in touch with me with your address, unless I already have it, which I might, I'm not sure. But get in touch with me anyway. You need to let me know what pattern you would like from Cozy Cute Knits. Sorry, rustling, leave it alone. And of course, everyone will also get the little glitter ball stitch marker with their parcels as well. Right, the next 4 prizes are going to be drawn from the FO thread. So we've got 4 prizes and 259 finished objects. The first prize that is going to be awarded is the bag and yarn from Sam of Betsy Mate. She donated one of her amazing project bags in a glorious yellow. I have the exact same bag which I use for my Strictly socks. I should have brought it with me to show you, and it is beautiful. Go and have a look at it in the prizes thread, and you also get the limoncello yarn to go with it, and obviously a stitch marker, and you can choose a pattern as well from Naomi. So quite the prize. So let's find out who is going to win that. So Alexa, choose a number between 2 and 259. She didn't like that. Alexa, choose a random number between 2 and 259.
Your random number between 2 and 259 is 97.
97. Let's go and find out who 97 is. Oh, I'm really pleased about this one. Okay, so post 97, your username is LEP49 and your name is Elaine. And the reason why I'm very pleased about this, oh, and where do you live, Elaine? You live in Merseyside. You're the Elaine that knit, how many pairs of socks? Elaine in Merseyside, you knit 5 pairs. Well done, Elaine. And one of the pairs was one of my most favourite sock patterns of all time. They're a crocheted slipper sock, and they are by Sharon Klinsky. I talked about them previously on my podcast. I've got a yellow pair, and I think I've made every single member of my family a pair, and she's made a sort of pinky purple pair. Elaine, on the back of those amazing slipper socks, you have won the first of the Strictly Sockalong prizes, which is the bag and the yarn from Betsy Mate. So get in touch with me and let me know your address, and let me know which pattern from Cozy Cute Knits you would like. I'm just writing down your name. Right, the next prize, God, I should have done this in a more organised way. Right, the next prize from the FO thread is, right, I haven't got this to show you because it's so beautifully wrapped up and I didn't want to unwrap it. It is a beautiful bag, needle holder and stitch markers from Eva at Coco and Flora. If I'm not putting pictures up, which I'm sure I probably will, go and check it out in the prizes thread. Her stuff is exquisite. You have to go and have a look. You have won an amazing prize. So number 2. How many were there? 259. Alexa, choose a random number between 2 and 259.
Your random number between 2 and 259 is 105.
105. Okay, post number 105 for the Coco and Flora. It's Kiki Lucy. Shelley, it's you. She is in Canada. I should know this because we did a swap. Let me go and check. She's in Canada. I'm very glad I got that right. So Shelley, you've won an amazing prize. I've already got your address, but if you could just get in touch with me to let me know what prize you would like. How convenient. I've got some tea I was going to send you as well, so I'll pop that in with your prize. Right, okay, I'm writing that down. Right, prize number 3. Only 2 more to go. Next prize. Oh, they're all amazing and I want to keep them all. Right, the next prize are sock blanks. And these were sent to me by Hannah of the Hannah from Sheep Valley podcast, who I'm a little bit obsessed with. Her podcast is amazing and she is a very clever person, a very inspiring, crafty lady. And she dyed two sock blanks, and she dyed them botanically using leaves and flowers. So, and she sent 2 of them as a prize. Actually, do you know what? Shall we split them and just do 5 prizes? And I'll throw in, like, I don't know, one of my pins or something with these. So let's just do 5 prizes. Let's split these. Okay, so the first person is going to win the slightly darker one. You can see that she's done, and she's called these Autumn Meets Spring, and she's also made the most amazing stitch markers to go with them. Okay, so let's just do an extra one. So for one of these, and like a pin, or I'll throw in some chocolate or something like that. That's going to be number 3. And 4, and that one could be number 5. Okay, right, just getting myself organised. So for the darker one, Alexa, pick a number between 2 and 259.
Your random number between 2 and 259 is 18.
18, that's the darker one. Alexa, pick a number between 2 and 259.
Your random number between 2 and 259 is 136.
And 136 for the lighter one. Okay, let's go and see who you are. Okay, so this is for the darker one. The slightly darker sock blank from Hannah. Lily, it's you! Post number 18 is Lily of Nordic Stitches. Yay! It's so exciting giving out prizes. Right, I've written that down, Lily. I've got your address. I will post that to you. Okay, and for the lighter one, it was number 136. 100 and... These are all people I recognise. Okay, so this is also another second time winner because this is Will 2 I am, and she is in Norway. Her name is Ellie. She made me an amazing scarf. She won something in another giveaway, and with the yarn she made me a scarf and sent me a scarf. I think I talked about it in episode 39. So Ellie, you have won one of Hannah's amazing botanical sock blanks. So I will get that posted out to you. I think I must have your address, so if you could just get in touch with me and let me know which sock pattern you would like, please. Okay, so the very last prize, dun, 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 is for an amazing sock blank. I haven't had this to show you before because I only picked it up when I went to festival before Christmas. So Lou, who is Foxy Yarn, oh, have I showed this before? Might have done. Lou, who is Foxy Yarn, donated this amazing sock set. I'm going to take it out of the thing. She is Foxy Yarn, and look at the colours on that. Absolutely beautiful sock set. This is her card, and she's put in some stitch markers as well. So that's the final prize. Crinkle, crinkle. So let's find out who's won that. Alexa, choose a random number between 2 and 259.
Your random number between 2 and 259 is 121.
Oh, 121. Okay, 121 is Pam. Oh, hang on. Press the wrong button. Pam Dunga. I'm going to guess that your name is Pam. Yes, it is. You are in, looks like Wales. Ammanford, yeah, in the UK. And you have won that sock set from Lou at Foxy Yarn. So I'm writing that down now. Pam Dunga, you are a winner. Please get in touch with me with your address and to let me know which pattern you would like. And that is it. Can you believe that the Strictly Sockalong is over for another year? After all of the drama and the fun and the romances, and when the contestants all start and you think, who are these people? I've never heard of them. I'm not going to like them. And by the end of it, you can't imagine life without them. What are we going to do on Saturday nights from now on? Roll on September 2019 for the next Strictly Sockalong. If you haven't joined in before and would like to, actually, if you haven't joined in before, you won't be watching this, so I'll just shut up. So congratulations to all of the winners. Get in touch with me, let me know your addresses. If I send out prizes to you, it's really handy if you let me know if you've received them. That's really good to know because I need to know it's got there safely. Don't feel awkward if it hasn't arrived and you want to go, it hasn't arrived, because it's handy for me to know because I can maybe try and chase it up from my end in the postal system. Yeah, so congratulations to everybody. It's all over for another year. Thank you for joining in.